Let's showcase the appeal of housekeeping for all in the Yashiro Commission to see.
Alright.
Let's get started.
Oh, I can play Thoma. I guess I can see his kit now. Alright. Thoma sneak peek. He's on like a health or something. Favonius Lance would be a good weapon for him for sure, yeah. I mean, Favonius Lance is just good in, you know, overall, yeah. No blast, that's fair. It's normal attack, 4 hits, and charge attack. So he yeets the weapon. I honestly thought the weapon would go longer. Charge attack is the dash.
Don't get too close.
A is the barrier. You just hit it for the barrier, right? You don't have to hit specific enemy like Xianling does. Has pyro resistance, barrier scales on max health. When new blazing barriers obtain, the remaining damage absorption will stack up and duration will refresh, so you can stack the barrier, I guess. So this is the base and it can stack up to like that much. 15-second cooldown, 8-second barrier duration. Your ult is Xingqiu's ult, right? So it shouldn't work. No, it should work with Raiden because it's on the motion of the attack, not the damage when it hits. So it should work with Raiden. I don't know if you want to run it with Raiden because that would just overload. So every time you do a normal attack, you slowly stack your E barrier, and I think that's the selling point. How often can you proc it? Once every second. So every time you hit, you stack up the barrier slowly up to a certain amount. 15-second duration, 20-second cooldown. You can technically... You have perma barrier, right? Because I assume whenever you proc this small barrier, it resets 8 seconds, yeah? So it keeps resetting 8 seconds, so you can't have perma barrier up as long as it's not destroyed. Yeah, okay. What's the damage ratio at level 8? 141 skill ratio at level 8? Wait, what's Xingqiu's? I guess Xingqiu is like multiple blades, so... I guess it is a barrier and a damage at the same time, so probably 115, 120 something at max rank or so. I don't know if I get enough energy. It's 80 energy cost, yeah, that's why Favonius Lance is here, I suppose. I would probably run Favonius Lance or the catch, go on full emblem set, right, 4-piece emblem set, and that would give me how much ER again? How much ER is the catch again? 50, right? Was it 50 ER? 45 ER plus 20 from emblem set is 165 with a couple of ER subset here and there to hit like 170, 180 energy recharge. Should be more than enough, right? Or you just run Favonius and that'll give you better ER gain as well with the passive. For main stat, I guess health, pyro damage, crit rate should be good. The damage numbers looking here is very... The damage will be non-existent. He's just gonna be there to apply pyro. It's so low. But I guess because of this, right? Okay, so the first passive is whenever you gain a barrier or refresh a barrier, the active character will get more barrier strength, stacking 5 times, so 25% barrier strength. Barrier strength is a stat that generally only applies to the active character itself. And there are, so far, he's the second character that can share barrier strength. The first one being Zhongli, and that's it, right? He has Zhongli's passive, but better. Because it's whenever you do damage with your ult, rather than whenever you get hit. So it's better Zhongli passive. But with a cooldown, I guess. So this part, this effect can only be triggered once every 0.3 seconds. This line does not need to exist. You know why? Because you can only proc it once a second anyway. So like this line doesn't matter. This line doesn't... why did they add it even? They already capped the speed here, then they capped the speed here as well. It doesn't matter. The devs are Pepega, yeah. Maybe when you hit 2 enemies at once. When you obtain and refresh the shield, and you can only refresh the shield once every second, chat. You can only refresh the shield once every second. What do you mean? It doesn't matter if you AoE enemy down. The animation speed will definitely cost longer than 0.3 seconds anyway. So that's just 25% free barrier strength, right? And this passive. The damage dealt by your ult scales now with 2.2% of your max health. 2.2% of your max health. I've done the math, by the way. He is a health scaling character with low base health. Holy. So he has Xianling health. So if you were to run a health percentage main stat on him, I'll just give him the benefit of the doubt and give him like 11,000 health, right? At 11,000 health, a health main stat will give you 46.6%, right? 46.6%. So that gives you 5,000 health plus 4780 plus his base. So with a health main stat alone, you'll hit 20k health. And I assure you, 20k health is the health that most people will have on Thoma. Because if you look at this and you run 0 energy recharge... no, right? You can argue, just use him with Bennett. But if you use him with Bennett, then you don't need Thoma. Because Bennett can probably stay on the field and do more pyro damage than Thoma. You see this damage ratio? Once again, this looks like it's nothing, right? So, alright, anyway. 20,000 health, right? 20,000 health, 2.2 of this, times 0.022. That's around 460 damage before crit. And before elemental as well. So, I'd say this adds around... maybe around 2,000 damage. Or like 3,000... or like... at best 3,000 damage per tick on top of this. 199. He has low base attack as well. What the f? How does a character have low base attack and low and low base health? What am I looking at? Okay, I'll look at the barrier strength first. So around, alright, I'd say around 22,000 health. So the Thoma in here, if you have a proper Thoma build with balance between energy recharge, crit stat, and main stat health, I'd say around 24,000 health is where most Thoma will be. You don't have, you know, not counting 5-star weapons, right? So around 22 to 24,000 health. This has no pyro damage for some reason. So around talent level 11, it's around roughly 5 to 7% performance more per talent level. So I can probably drop this down by 20% to talent level 8, right? So 13.7. So 22,000 health times 137 plus 1647 is 4,000 barrier. So Xinyan barrier, yeah. Xinyan level barrier strength, but it scales with health instead of defense, so that's slightly nicer. It can stack up to 37,000, and the only way you stack up to 37,000 is with your ult, right? 0.372 plus 4483. So it's 12,000 barrier at highest. So at the cap, it can hit the level of Zhongli barrier. But you need to slowly stack it up. So I'd say this is more of like... What would be a good comparison? It's like a Noel or like a Chi-Chi, right? Like Chi-Chi can put a mark on the enemy where whenever you hit them, you get some healing instead, right? And Noel's, whenever you hit an enemy, you heal a bit of health. Jean as well, right? So Thoma barrier, it's like the little bit of healing tick. You know, like just like... It's like, yeah, it's like this, right? Every time you hit an enemy or so, you get a little bit of barrier and so. And the only addition is you have a base barrier, and every time you hit an enemy with your ult, which is similar to like a Xingqiu kind of ult, you get a little bit more barrier. It slowly stacks up into this cap, yeah? So I don't think he will provide like massive sustenance and, you know, defensive capability to your team. And he also won't provide too much damage because for some reason they got his ratio like crazy. But he does have a benefit though. He does both. Right? I think that's why, right? Okay, so maybe for certain character, they have a power budget where it's like, if this character has too much utility, they won't give the character too much damage numbers. Or if the character has too much good numbers, they won't give that character too much utility. And that's where it should stay, right? With a few exceptions, yeah? But so, the fact is that since Thoma is a barrier provider, as well as an elemental application that works off the field. So whenever you do a normal attack, you also sends out a wave that apply pyro to the enemy, right? His numbers are because he has decent utility on his kit. I can give a comparison. Sarah. She has decent utility, but for some reason... Okay, to be fair, I think it's because mihoyo don't want to make Bennett 2.0, so they try to lower the power level of every new character. Wait, what? I got a delivery.
Okay.
Comrade's duty. When Thoma is protected by the barrier, when any character except Thoma is attacked with the barrier active, the cooldown of his E and Q is reduced by 3 seconds. This effect can be triggered once every 20 seconds. That's perfect. I guess like 17-second cooldown, 15-second uptime, on top of like constantly refreshing your barrier 8 seconds. I assume if your barrier breaks and you hit the enemy once, you get this little tiny barrier, you know, like 1.8% of your max health, because if the initial E barrier breaks, yeah? So it's something, right? Once again, the comparison is like, if your initial barrier breaks, Thoma ult is like this. You know, it's the little bit of healing or like shielding you provide. In this case, shielding, yeah? So that's a good passive. That's a decent passive. C1 seems pretty good. Increase your ult duration by 3 seconds. So it's an 18-second uptime and 17-second cooldown. So it's 18-second uptime, 17-second cooldown. Alright, that's cool. Perma ult, so ER seems to be rather important here. So yeah, I think that's the build, right? That would be the build recommendation. Full emblem set on Thoma, using any ER weapon, so Favonius or the Cache. The Cache is a permanent weapon, so I would honestly recommend using the Cache on Thoma, because it also increases your ult damage, and it gives you enough ER. Just with the Cache and emblem, that will be around 165 ER with some sub stats here and there. Hitting 180 ER is more than enough for Thoma. Should be fine. And yeah, let's see what else. Increase E level. After using your ult, 15 energy is restored. This dude has like stacked Constellation. What the f- Wait. Wait, this dude has stacked Constellation. So 65 cost. No, then literally you just have to run emblem set and the Cache, and that's enough ER. Like that's enough ER. You don't need to run 180. Just the Cache plus emblem set, and that's all the ER you need. And then increase talent level and this. When placing barriers, obtain a refresh, increase normal and charge attack damage by 15%. This is his weakest constellation. This is his weakest constellation. I mean, it's okay, but C4, right? I would recommend C4 if you can even get him to C4. Otherwise, C1 is all you need. I'll be honest, C1 or C2 is all you need. C4 just makes it so that you have to build less energy recharge, which in my opinion is amazing. C6, it shouldn't matter that much. It's decent, but it shouldn't matter that much. Well, okay, his ult only procs on normal attack, not charge attack. So Hu Tao and... Well, yeah, but Hu Tao charge attack, she does a normal before a charge. So that is 15% more normal and charge damage. But I don't think it's worth it. Because... all I'm saying is I think this ability might take away Hu Tao reaction. So I don't think it's worth it. Maybe it's... Yeah, Tartak or Ayaka would work much better. You know? I guess, okay, here's the thing, right? I doubt you would run Thoma and Bennett on the same team. Because okay, I don't think I can test this unless there's like combat of this trial. But I don't think this is gonna snapshot. Since it's the same wording with Xingqiu's ult, you probably can't snapshot an attack buff on it and make the entire duration fully attack buff. So I don't think he's gonna work with Bennett really. Can Thoma replace Xianling? Well, replacing Xianling is hard because Xianling is a free character given to everyone, and also this weapon is a free weapon given to everyone. It's kind of hard to beat Xianling at that point, but that's not the point. You probably won't run Thoma for damage alone. You're running him for like the mixed utility, right? The barrier uptime, and then the extra pyro application that allows your other character to proc reaction, right? So... Okay, let's just go over. For weapons, I'd say ideally run an energy recharge weapon, yeah? Favonius Lance or the Cache. I would recommend the Cache. Artifact set, emblem set. Don't run any other set. I don't think they're worth it. You need the 20 extra ER for the upgrade, and the extra damage on elemental burst. It's nice. It's really useful. Don't try to go for barrier strength with bow light set because barrier strength only applies to the active character. So only applies to the character with the bow light set itself, right? Like D set. It only applies to the character with the set itself, so it's not worth it. Tenacity set doesn't make sense because his ult is the thing that constantly proc, not his E. So that doesn't make sense. Yeah, emblem set is the only way. Constellation recommendation. I mean, suggesting someone to pull for Constellation for a 4-star character, I might as well suggest them to go for a 5-star weapon from the weapon banner, right? But hey, if you are lucky enough, C1 and C2 allows you to have more uptime on your elemental burst. C4 reduces the amount of energy you need to build on Thoma. So it's another quality of life update, right? But there are no constellation that changes how you play Thoma. So I would say this is good constellation design, yeah? It doesn't fundamentally changes how you play him. It just makes his uptime longer. So that's good, yeah? You can probably run... I would dare say you can run Thoma C0 and that would work because none of these really matter that much, right? You're going from... You probably have a permanent uptime anyway, right? Because damage, rotation, animation and stuff, you probably have a good uptime already, so it's really not necessary. Constellation will just make him a little bit more comfortable to play with, like, you can put more points into health or more points into crit damage or something to push more damage. And then talent priority, E then Q, right? E then Q. Artifact, for artifact main stat, I guess health, pyro damage, crit would be what I recommend for like a damage build. But I also have another thing in mind. There's like one more thing I have in mind that you can probably run Thoma as. Because you can see how low this damage ratio is, even with this passive, right? So another build I have in mind would just be run full health. Just run full health, Favonius lands, and something, and just get the barrier. Just get the barrier, because his damage ratio, you probably just use this as a way to apply pyro to the enemy, so that your hydro or cryo character can react, right? I'm sure there's gonna be some people that make this damage really high, but I really can't see this damage being like absurd by any means. The ratio is too low. They got him on purpose because he has too much utility. 2 emblem, 2 tenacity. Yeah, okay. So for a full barrier build, for a full supportive, full health barrier build, 2 emblem, 2 tenacity for 20% energy recharge and health. Go for Favonius Lance or any other ER really. Just get some crit rate substat for Favonius Lance. Maintain your ult forever and just make him be a barrier bot. And that will be the build recommendation for Thoma for the majority of the player base. I think a damage-based Thoma build is gonna be expensive as hell.